Hey, I'm Rob Pattinson. You're on dose.ca.
You're impossibly fast and strong. You gotta give me some answers.
I'd rather hear your theories.
I have considered radioactive spiders and kryptonite.
It's all superhero stuff, right? What if I'm not the hero? What if I'm the bad guy?
Only a couple more days to go. How's it
you.
feel?
Kind of a relief, to be honest.
I can imagine.
I've kind of done from the press junket and tons and tons of stuff before then. I haven't really had a day off for ages. So I think the day after the premiere is going to be a complete relief.
Do you have any plans, or you're just going to just chill?
I'm just not going to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Good plan.
Or 5:30.
So on my way over here, I drove by where you guys are going to be in a couple hours,
Oh, yeah?
and it's madness. It's like a sea of teenage girls waiting in the rain.
Oh, really?
How do you process this? I mean, going from city to city and just being like met with screaming mobs.
To be honest, I don't really process it. I just accept it. It's like, well, now I do. Before I used to get all overwhelmed and kind of like emotional about it and everything, and now I just have a very strange job where I get put on a plane, sent to somewhere, and everyone screams, and then I go somewhere else afterwards. It's really...
Are you going to miss it after the promotion? You like go for a coffee and no one's screaming at you?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I'm a little bit tired of it.
Obviously, teenage girls love Edward Cullen, and I'm not in the Target demo, but I read the books. I love the books, but I've got to say your character kind of freaked me out a bit. I mean...
Oh, really?
Well, I loved him, but at the same time, he's kind of like domineering and a bit of a stalker and controlling.
I know, no one seems to see that.
Yeah, are you surprised that all these teenage girls kind of hold Edward up as like the perfect boyfriend ever?
It's weird. But girls always being a guy, you know, you always just look at girls, it's like, what do you see in that guy with anybody? Like, virtually anyone. Nice guys, you know, nice guys come last.
Yeah, I guess.
You always get kind of weirdos. Like Edward, if Edward was not a fictional character and you just met him in reality, you know, he's one of those guys who'd be like an axe murderer.
Yeah, he sneaks into your room at night and watches her sleep and stuff.
And he's like ultra polite, really formal all the time. Like, let me open the door, let me carry the bags. It's like literally, like, you could just tell he just freak out one day and shoot someone.
Did you feel any like responsibility to really kind of play up those dark aspects of his character when you were playing it?
Well, I mean, I went more for the sort of vulnerable things. I mean, I just thought, you know, he's just intensely lonely. I mean, I was just thinking just more about the age and thinking, you know, you think you'll never have anything in your life, and then you meet this, and not even in your life, for eternity, and then you suddenly meet this one thing which provides everything that you've ever wanted, which you've been complaining about for 100 years, and then you can feel time just slipping away so quickly as you can't even sleep. Like there's no definition of time, so you feel like her lifespan is just non-existent.
Right.
I was kind of going more for that.
Now, I read a new interview with Stephanie, I think it was on the MTV website, and she talked about how you guys sat down and chatted about how you were going to approach Edward, and you had kind of a difference of opinion on how you should play it. Was it about that sort of thing that you guys were...
No, she was saying that he was happier than I thought he was. And he enjoyed certain aspects of his kind of supernatural abilities and stuff, and I just thought, you know, he wouldn't at all. I was just thinking how much, if I was in his position, I just think, like, you know, wow, I can jump really high, great, but I have to kill people in return.
Right.
It's like, you know, but, you know, I could see where she was coming from, but, yeah, you know, it's her creation at the end of the day, and that's what we were making. We weren't making, like, something else.
I mean, I think a lot of people in your role at your age with this kind of movie would have kind of approached it like a teen movie, and you and Kristen certainly didn't seem to do that at all. Like, you guys were really serious and really thought about deconstructing your character. Was that something that you guys talked a lot about, or was you were just on the same page right at the audition, or...?
There's definitely some kind of similarity in the audition, but we definitely put, at the beginning, we're just quite determined not to, I guess just for, I know for me it was just my own like pride. I didn't want to be like teen guy. And even though it seems that's become so huge now, it's like almost inevitable for me to be seen as like this teen guy, no matter how I did it. I don't even watch my stuff.
Really?
So, but I probably will end up reading reviews.
Have you watched this yet?
Mental. I haven't seen it yet.
Or is she curious to see how they make Edward sparkle?
No.
Not at all.
No, I just, you know, when you're just that whole, the whole scene when I just having to take your shirt off for a guy when you don't have like, when you're not exactly like a gym bunny, like it's especially when you're supposed to be.
Right.
So it was one of the most embarrassing days of my life. So yeah, I don't want to see it unless it miraculously unless I'm just literally like you can't even recognize me as a human, then I don't want to see it.
I read when they showed it in the junket last week in LA, there was a couple of regular fans in the screening, and apparently when you did your dazzle stare, one girl actually fell out of her seat.
I don't even know which bit my dazzle stare is.
Apparently at one point you gave a dazzle stare.
Wow.
And someone fell out of their seat.
I wish I knew what it was before.
So you didn't like actually practice like a...
I guess I was doing... I don't even know what I was doing. I have no idea.
So assuming that the sequels are going to happen, which is kind of a safe bet now, I think, New Moon, the next book, you're not really in it. Do you know how you would like them to approach it? Do you think that they're going to throw in some sad montages of Edward around the world?
I really, really hope not.
Yeah.
I mean... They should do it like, no, the re-entrance scene, the comeback scene could be really amazing if they just left it the whole time. I really hope they don't put in. I haven't seen the new script, but it'd be silly if they put in little vignettes.
Okay, last question. Thinking about the sequels, do you think it's going to be interesting or difficult for you to keep this character interesting because he doesn't really age or change? Like, how are you going to, continue to portray him in an interesting way?
I think he definitely changes in the second one. I mean, I tried to make it at the end of this more ambivalent, but I think people wanted more of a happy ending at the end. But because I think he already, as soon as James, the bad guy, comes into it, I think Edward thinks this will never be able to work ever. And he becomes more and more. He like detaches himself more and more and more, and that's kind of like from that point onwards, and that's why he can leave so quickly in the second one. I think he's a very different character, and I think even when he finds out that Bella's still alive at the end, I think he's been so kind of scarred by the thought of her leaving that he can't really get it back together again the whole time.
I'm strong enough to kill you. You are my life now.